Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Back in 2014, Sports Illustrated predicted the Astros would win the World Series in 2017. And lo and behold, it happened. Last year, the Astros delivered the first World Series title ever to the city of Houston. And tonight, the Tigers will take on the defending world champion Astros. Welcome inside Minute Maid Park, Game 1 in the series, featuring the Tigers and the Astros. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us as the road trip moves on here to Houston. And, well, it's going to be a challenge, Rod. The Tigers dropped 3 in Tampa. Now they face a really good baseball team.
Well, no doubt about that. I mean, this Houston Astros team, they will embarrass you if the Tigers aren't on top of their game. They have to match their energy. They don't have the same talent as the Houston Astros, but they can match their intensity and their energy. And if they don't do that, they'll get embarrassed here the next couple of days. All
right, now, speaking of talent, the top 4 in the lineup for the Astros is about as good as it gets in the big leagues, and they are all clicking right now.
Well, you're talking about a guy that was the MVP in the World Series last year, another guy that was the MVP during the regular season. That would be Springer and Altuve. Now you have Bregman in his 3rd year in the big leagues, 19 home runs. He's driven in 61. He's an all-star this year. But Yuli Gurriel, this guy came from Cuba at the age of 30. Look at his numbers with runners in scoring position, 436. That's the best in the big leagues. It's tough to maneuver through these 4 guys the entire day, but Mike Fiers will have to do his best opportunity at doing so tonight.
Yeah, Carlos Correa is on the disabled list, but still plenty of bullets in the gun for the Astros. Now, speaking of Fiers, I would imagine he's going to have to fight the temptations and the emotions tonight because he was part of this World Series team last year with the Astros, and he'll face them tonight.
Well, there's no question about that. He's pitched on this mound, so he's familiar with this mound. He's also familiar with the guys that I just told you about, all those players he played with last year. But Mike Fiers will not change what he does. He's going to throw you that fastball upstairs with the high spin rate. It's about 88 to 91 miles an hour. He gets tons of swings and misses on that particular pitch. He's got the split change. He's also got the breaking ball away from the right-handers. Take a look at what he's done as the starter this year for the Tigers. Well, he's pretty much been their most consistent starter from day one all season.
Still, Fiers will try and tame these Astros today. Game 1 in the series minutes away, and after a short break, we'll send you to the Call Sam Studios and check in with Mickey York. Coming up tonight, he is no longer the ace of the Astros staff, but Dallas Keuchel, he's still pretty good. Tigers and Astros, Game 1, coming up next. This series, Tigers trying to get their first win on this road trip as we get set for the All-Star break in 3 days. And here is the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. A little bit of a change here tonight for Ron Gardenhire. He's got Nico Goodrum leading off at second base. Hicks will bat second. Nick will bat third. You got McCann cleaning up. Matuk is in left. Victor Martinez bumped down to 6 in the lineup. Then Rodriguez, Candelario, and Jacoby Jones for the Tigers, and they are facing the left-handed slants of the talented Dallas Keuchel tonight.
And Dallas Keuchel just a few years ago won a Cy Young in the American League. He does not have the sign of sinker that he had back then, but he's still pretty good, and he's pitching some pretty good baseball. 6-8. He fields his position well. He holds runners well. And Ron Gardenhire said if they get anybody on base, because he throws so many ground balls, they may have to put some runners in motion. Let's take a look at the starting defense behind Dallas Keuchel. You've got Tucker in the outfield along with Kemp. In center field, you've got Reddick over in right field, Gonzalez and Altuve up the middle, Bregman, Gurriel on the corners, and Max Stassi is the starting catcher here tonight, catching Dallas Keuchel.
Well, the Astros were defeated 3 out of 4 by the Oakland Athletics the last 4 days here. The Tigers, of course, were swept in St. Petersburg by the Rays, so they're trying to get back into the win column. And Nico Goodrum will get set to lead things off for the Tigers in this one. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, get a free small order of curly fries. Here we go. It'll be Nico Goodrum to lead things off for the Tigers. Goodrum, Hicks, and Castellanos against the lefty Dallas Keuchel.
And Ron Gardenhire was saying today that the lineup that he's constructed here this evening, he's hoping with Goodrum, Hicks, and Castellanos, they can provide some pop at the top of the order against the left-hander, Dallas Keuchel.
Goodrum settles in, and here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike called on Nico. 5-game hitting streak now for Goodrum, who had 5 hits in the Tampa series. Keuchel's 0-1 is a tad low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Keuchel's got a fastball that will top out at about 92. That's his four-seam fastball. He also likes to cut the fastball. He's got a breaking ball and a changeup that he'll lose a lot today against his right-handed lineup.
1-2 now on Goodrum.
And most of the time when Keuchel will throw the changeup, he'll try to fade it down and away as he does right here. You can see the tailing action on that changeup.
Nico has hit safely in 10 of 11 in the month of July. He's been red hot. He'll spoil another one back out of play. Here are the umpires for the ball game tonight. Lance Barksdale is behind the plate. Ted Barrett is your crew chief down at third. Now again the 1-2, and he checked it. Did he go? Yes, he went around. So says Pat Hoberg, and out number 1 is a strikeout for Keuchel.
After a couple of changeups down and away to Nico Goodrum, Dallas came back with a breaking ball down and in, and Nico couldn't hold up on the pitch.
Here is John Hicks. Batting in the 2 slot in this one. Normally we see Hicks from 4th on down in the lineup with his power, but as Rod mentioned, a little bit of thump at the top of the lineup tonight for Ron Gardenhire.
Yeah, Gardy's trying anything these days after the Tigers swept down in South Florida. Well, down in Florida, down in Tampa.
In the air toward right field, slicing. Reddick is on the move, still coming, and look out, he almost overran it. 2 gone. It'll bring up Nicholas Castellanos. It is also time for the Bernstein advantage, and for Castellanos against Keuchel, pretty good numbers. 5 for 14 with a homer and a double as well.
And Nicholas also, as you all know, because we've talked about it quite a bit this season, Nicholas does some of his best work against left-handed pitching.
Astros are shifting to the left side of the infield against Castellanos. Ball one to Nick.
Surprisingly, they did not shift on Goodrum, nor did they shift on John Hicks, but they elect to shift on Nicholas Castellanos.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Lifted back out of play. Houston is atop the West Division in the American League at 62 wins, 34 defeats. Tigers right now third in the Central. Castellanos has hit safely in 4 in a row. Here are the numbers this year on Nick: 15 homers and 56 RBIs. There was a time where Dallas Keuchel was the ace of this Astros staff, but now the likes of Verlander and Garrett Cole and even guys like Charlie Morton, who's having a career year, Lance McCullers, their lineup or their rotation is loaded. Keuchel high and away, and he's fallen behind now, 3-1.
Man, they've had a lot of success with their drafting, also with the free agents they've acquired. You name it, they've done a lot of really positive things here. They don't seem to miss on any of the people that they bring in. Brought in Reddick last year, Brian McCann, the catcher last year, to really help out a by and large younger team. And of course, they went to the World Series and won it under A.J. Hinch. What's Tony Kemp doing out there, the center fielder?
Ball got loose.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Kemp a long way.
There's Jeff Luhnow.
Jeff Luhnow, the architect.
Yeah, he is. Got a lot of reasons to smile these days.
3-1 on Castellanos. Driven to center field and hit pretty good. Kemp is on the move, still going back to the warning track to make the catch. Tigers go 1-2-3 in the first. On the mound for the Tigers, facing his former team, and Fires is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Hey, Mike making his 18th start tonight in a Tigers uniform. He was good 5 days ago against the Texas Rangers. He beat them. He pitched 6 innings, gave up just 1 earned run in that contest. And as a matter of fact, in 7 of his last 8 starts, Mike Fires pitching really good baseball.
So Fires will go to work here on a mound which he is very familiar with. He will be presented with his World Series ring from last year before the game tomorrow, along with Liriano. Springer, the DH in this one here tonight, stands in for the Astros. He's got power, be careful. He's got a lot of leadoff home runs in his young career, and he looks at a strike, 0-1.
And Mike Fires has the fastball that will get up to about 91 miles an hour. He's got that split changeup that he goes at the bottom of the strike zone. He'll also use his breaking ball against the right-handers on the outer portion of home plate. The one thing I've kind of been encouraged with Fires lately is he's been really attacking the strike zone. Even when he gets ahead, he continues to attack, whereas his first few starts of the year, he would really be pitching around contact, a lot of 3-2 counts. We haven't seen much of that lately.
Springer looks at a ball low, 2-1. Is there an advantage to be had here tonight by the Astros because they know Fires, or by Fires because he knows the Astros hitter?
Well, I think it's an advantage for both. I mean, they know what Fires likes to do. They know he's not going to overpower them, and I'm sure some of these guys might think they've got a leg up, and Mike knows these guys' weakness as well.
Shot to the shortstop, deep in the hole. Ronnie Rodriguez, long throw, launches it into the dugout.
Yeah.
And that'll send Springer to second base.
That much I do know. You cannot give the Astros extra outs and extra bases.
So the leadoff man on for the Astros. Here is their starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Springer. Bregman and Altuve will follow. Yuli Gurriel is batting cleanup. Then Riddick and Gonzalez. Bottom three at Kyle Tucker, Max Stassi, and Tony Kemp. So here's Bregman. Single and an error on that play. Base hit for Springer. He advances on the error by Ronnie Rodriguez. Bregman has been red hot. And he'll look at a strike 0-1.
He's a good baseball player, and with nobody out and a runner on second base, there's no doubt that Bregman will be trying to hit something through the right side of the infield between Hicks and Nico Goodrum. He'll be going in that direction.
Bregman has been on base now in 19 consecutive games. That'll bend in for a strike, and quickly the count is 0-2.
That's a good pitch, especially when you know a guy's trying to drive the ball the other way. If you throw a fastball, it's easy for them to time that and hit the ball to right field. But if you throw this breaking ball, you get them on the right foot, on that front foot, excuse me, you'll see them roll over to the left side of the infield.
That'll bounce in, 1-2 on Bregman.
And you've got to watch George Springer at second base. Only 6 steals this year, but he is a threat to steal third.
Fires spent 2015 through 2017 with the Astros and won 21 games with them. Pitched to an ERA of about 4.5. That'll dive low again. Now the count 2-2 on Bregman.
Bregman also one of those guys that doesn't strike out very much. He has struck out 53 times this year, but he's also walked 53 times. So in a day and age where guys are swinging and missing constantly, Bregman has had a knack for putting the ball in play.
Altuve waiting on deck.
He's pretty good.
Here's the 2-2. Instead, he'll bluff to second base.
Man, this lineup, man, just presents problems for you. You got to be on top of your game if you're going to beat this Houston Astros team. They've got a really talented group of players. They can beat you in a lot of different ways.
They're without their all-star shortstop, Carlos Correa, who is on the disabled list. Bregman sends it high in the air and deep to left field, way back. That ball is up, and that ball is gone. A long 2-1 homer for Alex Bregman, and the Astros have a 2-0 lead. th home run for Bregman. Yeah, that one stings because he got ahead Bregman 0-2. And the throwing error after the leadoff single followed by the homer, so a sluggish start for the Tigers tonight. Here is Altuve. He is up there hacking. He fouls it back 0-1.
That is the 18th home run that Mike Fiers has given up this year.
Altuve looks at a ball outside, 1-1.
You've got to attack Altuve on the inner third of home plate. Has that closed off stance at least once he strides toward home plate. And if you really want to try to attack him to limit the damage, you're not going to totally limit the damage, but you can't be afraid to pitch inside, especially the way that he closes off his swing.
Altuve is leading the American League with 126 hits. He is once again trying to lead the American League in hits at the end of the year. He's done it 4 straight years now.
He gets 200 a season.
He'll drive that one in the air toward left field. Matuk is on the run, still going back, and he'll track it down. 1 away.
And Fiers was able to get ahead of Alex Bregman. No balls and 2 strikes, and then came back with a pitch that was too much plate. Fastball right down the middle, and Bregman didn't miss it. Bregman
now has 4 homers and 9 RBIs on their homestand. So he is really swinging it heading to the All-Star break. Gurriel rolls one foul. He's having a fine year himself. 49 driven in, 306 batting average.
He is a professional hitter. Spent the first 15 years of his professional career playing for the Cuban national team. And he was a good player. Many say, Mario, he was the best ever Cuban player. Really? Best ever player to play in Cuba, ever.
Well, he's brought his act stateside. It's been a good one for the Astros. Whistled foul down the right field line, 1-2.
He has, however, struggled against Detroit's pitching. In his few years in the big leagues, he is just 2 for 17, which is good for a 118 batting average.
Gurriel last year 75 RBIs. High fly ball right field, hit pretty good. Castellanos going back right in front of the wall to make the catch. And some hard hit balls in this inning for the Astros.
And while we have a moment, let's set the Tigers defensive alignment behind Fiers this evening. And Matuk, Jones, Castellanos left to right. Third to first reads Candelario, Rodriguez, Goodrum, and John Hicks. And James McCann is behind the plate.
2 gone now for Josh Reddick. Playing to pull on Reddick, who looks at strike 1. Fiers came in throwing his best baseball of the year. The Tigers had won 6 of his last 8 starts. ERA at 2.54 in that stretch for Mike. But he's been touched up early in this one on the 2-run homer by Bregman.
Yeah, in all 3 of those starts, he had not given up more than 1 run in any of those starts. Already 2 given up today by Fiers.
Now the 0-2. Reddick hitting .308 at home this year. He was a very good hitter in this ballpark last year as well. That'll miss outside. Now the count levels at 2-2 on Reddick. A veteran of several different organizations, Oakland, Boston among them. Just outside, fill the count now, 3-2.
Reddick's played for the teams that are heavy in the analytics. The Athletics, the Astros, and the Boston Red Sox. So he's an analytic kind of guy. They like the fact that he plays good defense and he'll give you a quality at bat. And he'll hit you some home runs.
Pulled on the ground to the right side, cut off there at first base by Hicks. Fiers will cover for the out. That'll end the inning. Astros score first. Alex Bregman goes deep for the 20th time this year. 2-0 Houston. We remind you the Tigers host the Red Sox on Friday, July 20th at 7:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a floppy hat. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. Either way. And get tickets. The Red Sox coming in after the All-Star break to Comerica Park. Here is McCann to lead things off. It'll be McCann, Matuk, and Martinez facing Dallas Keuchel.
I was talking to Mike Fiers yesterday on the way to the ballpark, and he says he had the Astros today, and then when he gets right back after the All-Star break, he's got the Boston Red Sox waiting for him.
Yeah, no easy task. McCann is out 6-3, 1 gone.
So trust me, they know who their next start's going to be against, even though it's after the All-Star break.
So going into the break, you've got the world champs. Coming out of the break, you've got the team with the most wins.
Right, and a lethal offense.
Here's Mikey Matuk.
Dallas Keuchel throws a lot of ground balls. As a matter of fact, since he's been in the big leagues, he throws about 60% ground balls, which is more than any other active player. And which is why Ron Gardenhire said if they do get some guys on, we might see some guys in motion today. Got to get them on first.
He's got a guy behind the plate in Stassi that is also one of the very best in the American League at pitch framing.
Is he?
Yeah, the numbers indicate that. And with a guy like Keuchel, who's more of a touch and feel guy, I wonder if that really becomes an important thing.
I think it might be important for him, especially if he could steal a strike or two. Keuchel's one of those guys that really likes to work on the edges of home plate. He's not like some of their other starters like Cole and Morton and Verlander. Those guys have 98-mile-per-hour fastballs. Keuchel doesn't, so that's a great point, Mario. Stassi might be a guy that can help him out. There's a rumor going around, though, that they're looking at Wilson Ramos of the Tampa Bay Rays because Brian McCann just went on the disabled list.
Yeah, we got an eyeful of Ramos recently.
Yeah, that we did. And with that pitching staff that they have, they probably do need a really good veteran catcher to make sure that they don't miss anything down the stretch.
Here's the 3-1. And Mikey looks at a strike, letter high. Matuk at 208. No homers, 5 driven in at the major league level. Spent a good portion of the first half down at Toledo. Fouled away. You know, you figured Mikey, after a strong second half last year, would come into spring camp. He would continue that surge and really be a fixture out in left field this year, but it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, he was fighting himself the entire spring. He just really couldn't gain any traction, didn't really swing the bat all that well. He still was named the opening day starter in left field when the season began, but shortly after that was sent down after struggling.
It'll go deep to right field, almost to the wall, and hauled in by Reddick for the second out. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game. It is presented by McDonald's. So the Tigers today have lowered Victor Martinez to 6 in the lineup. He is DHing again today for the Tigers, and it's been a struggle for Victor of late. He was 1 for 12 in the Tampa series. .236 batting average for V-Mart, and he looks at a ball, did not go. Let's take a look at StatCast now, powered by AWS.
And shifting on the infield to the left side, that's exactly where Victor hits most of his balls, batting right-handed. Exactly where they're standing.
This one tapped right back to the mound. And Keuchel lobs one over to first base for a 1-2-3 first inning. 6 up, 6 down against the lefty. Mbappe in France take on Luka Modric in Croatia in the FIFA World Cup final. Coverage begins Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern or streaming live on the Fox Sports app. There come the Astros now. It'll be Marwin Gonzalez to lead things off against the right-hander Mike Fiers. And Gonzalez filling in at short for the injured Carlos Correa these days. Every team needs to have a guy like a Marwin Gonzalez who literally plays everywhere on the field, much like Nico Goodrum for the Tigers. And Gonzalez looks at a strike on the outer edge, 0-2. Marwin also provides a little bit of pop. He's got 6 homers and he's knocked in 36 this season.
Time last year, Marwin Gonzalez was playing out of his world.
Whoa.
16 home runs and 53 driven in. He was batting well over 300. But he is very valuable to this team. He can play all infield positions and also all outfield positions. And you can tell they really don't need that lofty offense he had last year for them to still be in first place.
It'll be the first strikeout of the ball game for Fiers. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moments later in tonight's game. 4 in a row now set down by Fiers following the home run by Bregman. Here is Kyle Tucker, and if he looks like he's just out of high school, well, he pretty much is. He's only 21 years old. First-round pick a couple of years ago, the Astros. Pulls that one right into the shift and gobbled up by Goodrum, who throws him out. Now that was Ronnie.
You gotta look, man. You never know.
You really do.
You never know.
So that'll go as a 6-3, not a 4-3. 2 away, and here is Max Stassi. Stassi at 255 this year. A little bit of power for Stassi. He's got 7 home runs. It'll dive low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
One thing that Mike is doing a very nice job of through the first 8 hitters. He is 8 of 8 in first pitch strikes. So that is working well for him tonight.
One and 2 now on Stassi. This is a Houston team that leads baseball in run differential. They've outscored their opponents by 180 runs this year. Ooh, a plus 180. Highest in the major leagues. Couple that with the pitching staff they have. They're going to win some games, and they have. Here's the list. The Red Sox are at a plus 162. And the Yankees, they score some runs. Drill to left, base hit. That one hung up there, and Stassi drilled it for a 2-out single.
And Mike would like to have this one back. After getting ahead of Stassi, he came back with a slow breaking ball, and he really allowed him to step out there and then recognize it, and he ripped that ball to the pull field because the velocity was only 74 miles an hour. And you want to get that ball down in the strike zone, and so you can get the ground ball.
Fires has many different speeds on that breaking ball. He's gone as low as 64 miles an hour on the curve this year. Here is Tony Kemp. 297 batter is Kemp. And again, a first pitch strike.
And Tony Kemp is the same size as Altuve. Both guys really small in stature, but yet, and both guys realizing a dream of playing in the big leagues, playing with the big boys. One thing I love about baseball, you don't have to be a 6'5" to be successful in the majors.
Pulled on the ground and through. That's a base hit for Kemp. Stassi will go to second, and the Astros now have 2 on with 2 outs.
Steve Springer had a World Series to remember. He was really struggling in the beginning of the postseason, and A.J. Hinch contemplated sitting him on the bench, but he stuck with Springer. And then George Springer hit 5 home runs in the Fall Classic to capture the Most Valuable Player award.
What a postseason Springer had.
He showed out, didn't he?
He sure did.
He hits the ball extremely hard.
Single to start the first inning, advancing on a throwing error by Rodriguez. You have a rip. Chevrolet's most dependable player, the Springer numbers World Series last year, 5 home runs, which was the most in World Series history, tying Reggie Jackson back in '77. That's when Reggie was the straw that stirs the drink. Or so he proclaimed.
Still is, just ask him.
Here's the 0-1. Springer this year has 5 leadoff homers. He has 22 for his career, which is the most in baseball since the 2016 season. Fires now with the 1-1. One and two on Springer. Springer, one of several first-round picks on this current roster for the Astros.
Yeah, George Springer also an all-star this year, one of 6 players on the Houston Astros that will be headed to Washington, D.C. after the ball game on Sunday.
Little chopper slowly toward third base. Candy will throw up the line, but the tag will be made to end the threat. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. To the third we go. Old friend Justin Verlander is being highlighted and spotlighted tonight. Founded Wins for Warriors Foundation since 2013. He's donated $1 million to veteran organizations, and since 2011 has hosted more than 5,000 veterans and family members in ballpark suites. So our hats off to JV, who will get the start on Sunday, the final day of this first half. Here's Ronnie Rodriguez to get it started now for the Tigers. Ronnie showing bunt. Bottom 3 coming up against Keuchel, who has retired 6 in a row to start this game.
Verlander has elected to pitch against his former teammates versus pitching in the All-Star game next Tuesday.
It'll chopper to the right side. It's going to get through, a base hit. Tigers have their first hit of the game.
And Verlander out talking to several of the Tigers players. Michael Fulmer out there, Hardy out there, Alex Wilson. Verlander holding court.
He's an all-star once again, and as Rod mentioned, will go Sunday instead of pitch in the all-star game. And he'll be a little bit amped up, I would think. Here is Jeimer Candelario. There's a strike called on Jeimer. Catch all the action of the All-Star game Tuesday on Fox. American League, National League get together.
And Ron Gardenhire said he had to call Candelario into his office today to tell him that he was dropping him down to that number 8 spot. And not that he needed Candy's permission, but that's just what you do, especially when a guy's been batting up at the top of the batting order the majority of the season. But he said he told Candy, just relax and start to do some of the things you were doing earlier in the season and try to the best of your ability not to press, which is not the easiest thing to do up here when you're struggling and still a young player. I think sometimes we kind of got caught thinking that Candy was a veteran player the way he was going about his business the first 2 months of the season. Seeing a lot of pitches, working a lot of counts, having a lot of success.
He is still only 24 years of age. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chamber.
And I told you that Keuchel's one of those guys that throws lots of ground balls. Can't put a runner in motion here. Counts 2-2.
Soft line drive to center, base hit. Candelario goes out and gets it, and the Tigers have 2 on now with nobody out.
And nice job here by Candy. It's a changeup that's tailing away from him, but he stays with it and does not try to do too much with it. Nice easy stroke right back through the box.
So here's Jacoby Jones now. The Tigers had 6 in a row retired, and now they have the tying runs on, nobody out. Jones at only .218 on the year, but he has popped 7 homers. Keuchel will allow some hits. In fact, he is 4th in baseball with 122 hits allowed. So he has been pitching in traffic, but again, he gets a lot of ground balls, which gets him out of some jams. And Jones looks at a strike. Jacoby drops down a bunt. It's going to go foul. 1-2. He had the third baseman Bregman back.
And both Jacoby Jones and Bregman played their collegiate ball at LSU. Bregman in his final year of college was a finalist for the Golden Spikes Award, to give you an idea how good he was in college.
A lot of LSU Tigers in the house tonight. Matuk went to LSU. Fouled away. Bregman's 2-run homer gave the Astros an early lead, and now Jones trying to answer for the Tigers. Swing and a foul, just got a piece of it, and Jones stays alive.
And Keuchel really throws nothing straight. Even though he has a 4-seam fastball, it's not straight. Everything's got tail or it's got some run to it. And of course his breaking pitches, they go down and into the right-handers, the slider, and then of course that changeup fades away from the right-handed batter. Left-handers actually have better numbers against Keuchel than righties, but the Tigers don't have many lineups in their lineup.
Slicing down the line toward foul territory, and that ball is a foul ball.
Left-handers are hitting over 300 against Dallas, where right-handers are batting just 251. And for those of you that may wonder why, it's because usually the left-handed pitcher will not throw the changeup to the left-handed batter, and really you eliminate one pitch, and that's why the righties, he has his way against them, because he uses that changeup and he doesn't use it against the left-handed batters.
Again, the 1-2. 2-2 now on Jones.
Stassi has been busy behind the dish, and he's been up for the challenge on every ball that Keuchel has bounced. And Stassi's been able to keep it in front of him. Nice technique there, man. He was getting set early.
This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. Low, ball 3. Full count now on Jones.
You'd like to start the runners here if you are Ron Gardenhire, but man, I just think it's kind of risky with Jacoby in the batter's box. He's prone to strike out on occasion. But you also would like to get him moving too, because Keuchel throws lots of ground balls. We'll see what Ron Gardenhire does.
Runners hold and a foul at home plate again. Jones barely staying alive to prolong the at-bat. Tigers in their last 2 times against Keuchel have done pretty well. Keuchel has struggled against them. 10 runs in his previous 2 starts in 8 innings versus Detroit. In the air to center field, not deep. Kemp will come on to make the play. 1 gone. So Jones a lengthy at bat, resulting in a fly ball to center. 10 pitch at bat for Jacoby. Here is Nico Goodrum. Nico struck out to start the ball game. Having a huge month of July, and Nico comes in batting .333 versus lefties. Sends a ground ball foul. 19 hits here in the month of July, and that is the most in the major leagues, not among rookies, but among all players. Big timers on that list.
You got that right.
Betts and Stanton. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Nico.
And Mookie Betts, he added to his numbers last night with a big hit for his squad. Boston Red Sox have won 10 games in a row and they're rolling.
Swing and a miss, and Nico goes fishing for the second out. Second strikeout for Keuchel.
Yeah, everything south of the knees. And Keuchel very seldom gets the ball up in the strike zone. Nice little changeup fading away from Nico.
This is what Ron Gardenhire was talking about before the game. The Tigers just have not been very good in several aspects. Situational hitting, hitting with runners in scoring position. Now they have 2 outs, and we'll see if Hicks can deliver. Swing and a miss, 0-1. And I would assume these are just all byproducts of being a very young lineup.
Yeah, you would think.
Inexperienced.
But with each opportunity, you would think guys would start to get better. Guys would start to slow the game down a little bit. They have done it on occasion, but just not consistently enough to win a lot of games. He hasn't thrown Hicks a strike yet, and Hicks has swung at 2 pitches, but that's nothing against John Hicks. I mean, Dallas Keuchel is a good pitcher. He's won a Cy Young, but that's a perfect example of staying in the strike zone when you have runners in scoring position. Nico Goodrum, same thing. He left the strike zone. And Keuchel knows that when you go up against an inexperienced team, guys that don't have a lot of experience in the big leagues or at bats. And more often than not, he's not going to make a mistake once he's gotten ahead of you with 2 strikes.
This is Hicks's first career game starting in the 2 slot in the lineup. He flied to right field back in the first. Tigers got leadoff singles by Rodriguez and Candelario. Low again, that time Hicks would not bite, and the count levels now 2-2. So Keuchel got ahead, and then he enticed Hicks with a couple of pitches out of the strike zone, but he would not chase. 24 now this inning for the lefty Keuchel. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the Tigers will strand 2 as Keuchel fans his 3rd of the ball game.
power. Alex Bregman connected for his 20th home run of the season in the very first inning against Mike Fiers. Launch angle 30 degrees, exit velocity at 102, projected distance 395 for the all-star third baseman.
Home run leaders for the Astros. Bregman with 20. Gaddis has 18, 15 for Springer. And Mr. Bregman headed to the All-Star game.
Alex Bregman leads their team in homers now and RBIs, passing Gaddis in the RBI department.
And Bregman looks at a ball low and away.
Mario, they say this guy's cut from the same cloth as a Dustin Pedroia. I mean, he gets to the ballpark at noon every day. They say he's walking around in his spikes in the clubhouse when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, getting ready to go out and take batting practice.
He'll pull that one to left field, a base hit.
And they just describe him as a baseball player, which is the way that we describe guys like a Bregman, the guys that just like to sleep in their uniforms.
You know, there was a guy on their team last year who was a veteran influence in Carlos Beltran. And Beltran apparently, after Bregman was struggling early in his career, really settled him in and made him have fun in the game again.
Oh, that's cool.
And Beltran was also a guy that would talk to Keuchel about what hitters were trying to do to him. And he also tried to bring the Latin players together with the American players in the locker room as well and make them become one. So apparently Carlos Beltran last year was a huge influence on this team.
Well, Beltran's got some really good leadership skills. I mean, he interviewed for the New York Yankees managerial job this offseason, and he was basically 2 months out of professional baseball. And that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy that leaves the field gets an opportunity to interview for the Yankees job. So you're dead on in what you're saying about Beltran.
Well, here is Altuve now, who flied to left field in his first at bat. That'll miss low and in.
Altuve has tremendous bat range, and his bat-to-ball skills are extraordinary. He'll go from the bill of that cap all the way down to his shoe tops and put the ball in play with authority. And he's been doing it for a number of years.
Well, that's not a very long distance from from his cap to his shoe tops.
That's almost 5 feet.
Here's the 2-0. Ground ball left side. He'll find a seam, a base hit. And now the Astros have 2 men on.
And a couple of seeing-eye singles off the bat of Bregman and Altuve. And now they've got to face the best hitter in the big leagues with runners in scoring position. Gurriel is batting .443 with runners in scoring position, 35 for 79.
Altuve now has a 10-game hitting streak and 21 straight at home. That's how hot he has been. And here is Gurriel.
Gurriel tries to drive that ball down in the right field corner when runners are in scoring position. He really keeps that bat in the strike zone a long time. That's why the first pitch fastball was inside to Mike Fiers. Fiers played with him the last couple of years, so he knows Gurriel very well.
Fly to right field in his first at bat. Gurriel has a 9-game hitting streak of his own. Opponents this year against Fiers batting only .171 with men in scoring position, so Mike has been able to really buckle down when there are guys on base. He'll need to do so again here in the third. Gurriel sends a ground ball to left, base hit. Bregman rounding third. He will score. It's an RBI single for Yuli Gurriel.
How about that? 3 singles, all 3 singles in the exact same spot.
And not one of the 3 hit all that hard, but they were very effective.
Yeah, that's a breaking ball that stayed up that Gurriel got out in front of, and Gary Pettis, third base coach, had no problem whatsoever sending Alex Bregman home.
50th RBI of the year for Gurriel. 3 straight hits to make it 3-0. Here's Josh Reddick. Popped up in the shallow center field. This one is going to be tough. Oh, what a play by Ronnie Rodriguez, who runs back and hauls it in with a tremendous play. It looked like it might drop, but Ronnie ran back there and snatched it.
Very difficult play for a shortstop, especially for a guy that's not playing the position every day. He was not an everyday shortstop in the minors. He has not been an everyday shortstop up here. So that's a real nice play, and now Mike fires one ground ball away from getting out of this jam.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Strike 1 to Gonzalez. He got the outside corner.
Yeah, Ronnie Rodriguez talking to Mike Fiers, telling him to keep a close eye on Altuve. Altuve was acting like he wanted to steal third base, which he's done a lot in his career. He is 44 of 53 in steals of third base, and which is why Rodriguez is playing right on that second base bag.
He's attempted 53 steals of third?
Yes, in his career.
Wow.
And he's been successful 44 times. He does a lot of things right, man. I mean, he fills up the stat sheet. Stolen bases, doubles, hits, you name it. MVP in the American League last year.
Here's the 0-2. Slap foul, look out. Whistling by Gary Pettis. Gonzalez is over his last 9. He struck out in his last at bat. He has played left field. He has played first, second, short, third, everywhere in the infield. And filling in these days now for Correa on the disabled list.
Correa getting close to coming back. Won't be until after the All-Star break, though.
1-2. Tucker waiting on deck. You know, it kind of tells you how good that Oakland team is, Rod. They came in here and won 3 out of 4 from this team.
Oakland team is a really good team. They've got more wins, man, than the Cleveland Indians do, the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, they're 12 over.
Bob Melvin has them playing some really good baseball. Billy Beane's going to have to change directions at the trade deadline. He might have to buy instead of sell.
Ooh, where was that? Just low. 2-2 on Marwin Gonzalez, who watched that one right into the glove.
Yeah, this might just be that count that Altuve tries to steal the base on, knowing that Marwin Gonzalez, if the ball's over the plate, more than likely he's going to put it in play somewhere. Mike Fiers, he knows the tendencies as well of Altuve.
And he takes low again. It'll fill it now 3-2.
Mike Fiers has thrown 55 pitches, and we got 1 out in the third.
Fiers threw a no-hitter with the Astros against the Dodgers. That was back in August of 2015.
Yeah, that was right after they acquired him.
Yeah, right after he had pitched against the Tigers. driven foul out of play. He threw 134 pitches in that no-hitter. Fiers has gone beyond 100 this year 4 times. Here are the numbers career-wise with the Astros. So turning into a long at bat here for Gonzalez. The 8th pitch coming up. Drilled on a line to right field, Castellanos. And the runners will hold. So with 2 gone now, here is Kyle Tucker. Tucker grounded out his first time up. He was hitting .306 in the minors with 14 home runs. Just a couple of years ago was their first-round pick.
Out of high school, so he's just a baby.
It's amazing how quickly now guys get to the big leagues. 21 years old. Was tearing it up down at AAA with 66 RBIs.
Another former #1 draft choice, drafted by the Houston Astros, that took very little time getting to the big leagues. Bregman was drafted in 2015. He didn't stay in the minors very long before he got to the big leagues. Carlos Correa, a shortstop, #1 player taken in the country a few years back. He wasn't in the minors very long either. So not only do they draft well, but their guys don't stay in the minors very long.
Here is all of the homegrown talent. Bregman, Tucker, Correa, McCullers, and Springer. They were all first-round picks.
It looks a lot like what we talked about last week when we were in Chicago. A lot of position players that are #1 draft choice. Of course, they've got Keuchel and also McCullers Jr. too. But then they go out and acquire pitching like a Verlander or a Garrett Cole or a Charlie Morton. And those guys come here and their careers just take off.
When Tucker was drafted a couple of years ago, his brother Preston was on the big club with Houston. He has since moved on, and now Kyle has made it to the big leagues with the Astros. High fly ball left field, backing up Matuk, going to the track, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. 1 run. That's all they get. Nick Castellanos will lead things off. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. The Tigers are down 3-0. As we go to the fourth inning, it'll be Nicholas Castellanos to lead things on. 3, 4, and 5. Castellanos, McCann, and Matuk facing Dallas Keuchel, who pitched out of a jam in his last half inning. Swing and a miss.
That's what Keuchel will do a lot of. He'll throw that cut fastball as he did to Nicholas on the first pitch off the plate inside, and then simply go back outside with that changeup. He's already thrown that changeup a bunch today to this right-handed lineup that Ron Gardenhire has ran out there against him. And he'll show you another fastball inside. As a matter of fact, of the 51 total pitches that he has thrown here today, 27% of those have been changeups.
Well, here we are in the middle of July, and Castellanos is still hitting over 400 against lefties, 416, which is the best in baseball. He is ahead in the count here, 3-1.
And more than likely, Keuchel going to come back with that changeup. And we told you that he's thrown it 27% of the time already today, and the average that he's used that changeup this year has been just 11%. So he feels like he can exploit this Tigers' young offense with that changeup.
The base hit to left field. Castellanos is aboard with a leadoff single. Well, the Boston Red Sox are coming to Detroit on Friday, July 20th through Sunday the 22nd. Great seats are on sale now. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com and catch the Bo Sox.
It's a talented team, just like this Houston Astros team. And Betts and Benintendi and Bradley and J.D. Martinez.
And they have good starting pitching as well, so it'll be a tall challenge for the Tigers coming out of the All-Star break.
Of the three powerhouse teams in the big leagues right now, Boston, Houston, and of course the New York Yankees, do you have a preference on one that you think is a little better than the other?
You know what? I think the Astros have the best starting pitching. Swing and a miss.
A change-up again, man.
You could make an argument with Correa in their lineup. They have the best offense as well. I don't know. It's really hard. I mean, I like the Yankees a lot. I just don't think they have the pitching the other two have, although their bullpen
is strong.
Good. Yeah.
They got a lot of power, but that power strikes out in the postseason because you're running into a ton of guys that are throwing 95 to 98 miles an hour. Those two guys right there, McCullers and Charlie Morton, are outstanding. Morton was just named to his first All-Star team today, man, at age 34. Good for him.
That means the Astros have 6 in the All-Star game, the only team with 6 All-Stars.
And that youngster McCullers right there, they say he has the best curveball in the big leagues.
Oh, 0-2 on McCann. Right back up the middle, but Altuve is there. They'll flip the second one, and the relay is a double play. Gonzalez with a nice turn at second. 2 gone.
That's one of the things that the shortstops don't have to worry about these days. When there's a ground ball that's hit up the middle, now you don't even have to worry if you're the shortstop coming across the bag, because the guys can't take you out anymore. I mean, if they hit you or try to slide towards you, then they're going to get called out anyway. So you got to slide straight for the bag.
And before all the shifting, that's a base hit all day, every day.
Yeah.
But they had it shaded that way, and it turns out to be a 4.63. Here is Mikey Matuk. Fly to right field back in the second. Popped up, headed back to the seats. I know it's part of the game now, and it appears it's going to be a part of the game for a while, right? All the shifting, but at a bat like that from McCann, he drives the ball back up the middle. It looks like it's headed to center field to start a rally, and I just can't imagine going back to the dugout and how frustrating that's got to be.
Yeah, and it happens a lot. It happens on a nightly basis, and not only for McCann, but a lot of players these days. And it also frustrates some pitchers, too, when they're on that mound pitching and they throw a ball that's usually right toward the second baseman or the shortstop, and they turn around and look, and they see that nobody's standing there. They get a little upset, too. I've been told they don't shift as much when Keuchel is on the mound, though, because he creates so much soft contact. He gives up lots of hits, but it's not a lot of hard contact. Therefore, they don't shift as much when he's on the mound. And if you notice today, they've only shifted on a couple of the Tigers players. And we just saw the Tampa Bay Rays. They shift on every last one of the Tigers batters last week.
Altuve will go back to the grass to haul that one in. The inning is over. We will head to the bottom of the fourth. 3-0 Houston.
Fires a last half inning, one to Bregman and one to Altuve, the other to Gurriel. Gurriel was able to drive in a run, but you saw the two to Gurriel and Bregman were up in the strike zone. So Mike Fiers working up in the zone with that breaking ball, needs to make sure he gets it down against this dangerous lineup he's going up against here tonight.
Fiers started this game going 10 for 10 in first pitch strikes. He is now 12 of 16 overall. Stassi, Kemp, and then Springer in the Astros part of the fourth inning. Stassi a single back in the second. Astros have 7 hits. Tigers have 3. Pulled right to the shortstop, leaping play, Ronnie Rodriguez. One gone.
And Ronnie had him played perfectly.
We'll bring up Tony Kemp.
It's one of the few balls hit hard today off Fiers. Of course, the home run was hit hard. But some of the other singles that he's given up in the game weren't hit hard, but that ball was smoked by Stassi.
Kempe single in the second.
He'll bunt.
He showed it. Strike one. Kemp drafted out of Vandy.
He's an intelligent fella, man.
That he is. You don't get in there without some decent grades.
Right.
The bounce in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Called up in mid-May from AAA. He is .366 over the last 14 games. 2-1.
This Astros team probably needs some bullpen help at some point in time. They're pretty good in every other area, but they've got to shore up that bullpen before the season's over.
It's another base hit for Kemp, his second of the game. 1 on, 1 out. Well, they'll be joining the Indians in that parade, looking for relievers.
And nothing Nico Goodrum can do. It's a second hit tonight for Kemp, same exact spot.
Here is Springer. The Astros, speaking of their bullpen, sent down Ken Giles the other day.
Yeah.
The flame-throwing Ken Giles.
Yeah, I heard he and A.J. Hinch got into it on the mound, and they said that it had nothing to do with that. But you're not going to embarrass your manager at this level and think that you are not going to pay for it in some shape or form. So they sent him down to the bushes for a while so he could think about it.
Ever wonder why they called the minor leagues the bushes?
Because that's just what it is, the bushes.
The middle of nowhere.
Bus rides everywhere.
Bad food.
Bad at the middle of the night.
The bushes.
Yeah, you want to get out of the bushes, don't you? You don't want to be in the bushes.
No, you want to be in the big bright lights. It'll miss high to Springer, a single and a ground out. Springer scored a run on a homer by Bregman in the first inning. They got another run in the third on the RBI single by Gurriel. They lead 3-0. Fouled away.
There will be a day where this team will totally look different, though. They will not be able to hold on to all these talented players, especially once they all become free agents. Some of them simply will have to leave and go elsewhere to finish their careers. Altuve, he's locked up for a number of years, so he will not have to go anywhere. 7 years he's locked up for.
Runner goes. Here's the throw from McCann. Tag. Got him at second. Kemp trying to steal. Thrown out.
Kemp had a huge lead, and he was flying. He had 4 or 5 steps under his belt before McCann even got that ball in his glove. And McCann, with that real good footwork and that fire, that strike down to Nico Goodrum, and looked like Nico might have been blocking the bag. Tony's about, what, 5'6"? Nico's 6'5".
Here's a good shot right here.
He never got there.
He's out. So 2 outs and the bases are empty now. Springer the batter. Here's the 2-2. Here's the 2-2 again. Drilled toward left field. Matuk in his tracks will make the catch to retire the side. Inning over. Well, Daniel Stubb had a homecoming here in Houston. We'll be back, and Johnny Kane will have more on that.
especially for me. Come a long way, and like I said, the opportunity that I got here is definitely the foundation that has kind of just moved me on.
And that was Daniel Stump yesterday. We took a trip down memory lane. Fortunate enough to go over to San Jacinto Community College, Junior College rather, where Daniel Stump started for 2 seasons coming out of high school. And he was with his assistant coach, Corey Kohler, there, who was instrumental in helping Daniel not just believe in his big league dreams, but help him to get there. As the story goes, Daniel said, you know, he grew up in Humble, Texas, so not too far from here. Came out of high school as a position player, really only had 6 innings of work under his belt. And he was able to get a tryout there at San Jack and started throwing a couple pitches. They said, hey, really let it go this time. So he reached back, and they said he got to the mid-80s there, and they thought there's some real potential there. But San Jack is a junior college power here in Texas. And basically from his freshman year, he worked hard enough to become the ace of the staff into his sophomore campaign and actually played for a junior college World Series, although they came up short in that one back in 2012, guys. So I'll tell you what, he talked so highly about the way those guys were able to credit him, you know, to get him prepared for life as a major leaguer, and it was pretty cool to go back there now still as Daniel Stump reflects on it.
Well, I think anybody that's gotten to this level, as you see Altuve throw this one away, allowing Victor to reach. Anyone that gets to this level, Rod, I think had to have someone along the way that believed in them.
Absolutely. I mean, there's always somebody that's going to have some encouraging words for you that will help you to have success in this game, because it's such a tough game. Very tough game. And especially to get to the major leagues, the odds are just stacked against you.
You know, a lot of it's having the stuff, guys. It's also about having supreme confidence. And you figure a guy like Daniel, again, didn't have a ton of innings under his belt, but by a sophomore campaign to become the ace and then pitch, basically get within 1 game from winning a championship for those guys. I mean, and you can see it today when you talk to Daniel Stump. I mean, he's a confident kid. There's no doubt about it. And I think maybe his best baseball is still in front of him.
I think it's also pretty cool to go back to your school and see a big old mural of yourself wearing a big league uniform.
Yeah. He said after his debut, he called back to his guys. He said, hey, when do I get on the wall? They said, after you make your big league debut.
There's a base hit to right field for Ronnie Rodriguez, and Victor will go to second. Tigers now have 2 on, nobody out here in the 5th inning.
And Tigers have been able to get some men on base here today against Dallas Keuchel. Now they have to try to figure out a way to push a run or 2 across. Second consecutive single for Ronnie Rodriguez to the right side of the infield. So he's got the right approach against a guy like Dallas Keuchel. And he's not going to try to pull him. He's waiting to the last possible second and creating the bat angle to hit the ball the other way, which could prevent you from rolling over to the left side of the infield.
It seems like he has cut down on his wild swing that we saw his first time up.
Yeah, he has calmed down quite a bit.
Candelario looks at a strike.
And here's where Keuchel's at his best, because he never, ever panics, because he always feels like he's 1 ground ball away from getting himself out of a jam.
Tigers threatening here in the 5th, down 3-0, and Candelario grounds it foul, 0-2. Keuchel gave up singles in the 3rd with nobody out. Then he got a fly ball and 2 strikeouts to pitch out of that jam. Time call now as Candy will step out. A single back in the 3rd for Candelario. 0 for his last 26 with men in scoring position, so it's been a while since he's been able to come through in these spots.
And 3 of the Tigers' 4 hits have gone the opposite way. 2 by Rodriguez, 1 by Candelario.
Did he go? Yes, he went around, and Jamer unable to hold up, is out of there on strikes. Keuchel with his 4th strikeout of the game. Here is Jacoby Jones. ball one. Keuchel is a two-time All-Star, won the Cy Young in 2015. That year he won 20 ball games, was 28 with an ERA of 2.48. A little bit outside, 2-0 now on Jones.
Keuchel also three-time Rawlings Gold Glove Award winner. And he won that award in 14, 15, and 16. So he does a lot of things right. Even when he delivers that ball home, he gets himself in a really nice position to field his position. And you can't steal bases off of him either.
It'll chopper back up the middle. They'll tag the bag one, reload, double play. It'll go 6-3, their second double play of the game, and Bregman will lead off for the Astros. At Auto Service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. The facilities at San Jacinto Community College.
A lot of championships in JUCO baseball.
Series appearances. Well, it's going to be Flyers back to the hill. The Tigers again got 2 on, nobody out, but could not score. And here in the bottom of the 5th, it'll be Alex Bregman to get it started. Homer and a single for Bregman. And here's a guy, Rob, that knocked in 30 runs in the month of June.
Right.
And was the American League Player of the Month that week, or that month. And now here in July, he's showing no signs of slowing.
No, he really hasn't. I mean, he's really coming to his own this year. He's comfortable.
Tough play for Candelario, who stays with it. One gone. They'll be a part of history when the Tigers retire the numbers of 2018 Hall of Fame inductees Jack Morris prior to the Sunday, August 12th game versus the Minnesota Twins. First 10,000 fans receive a replica Jack Morris jersey. For tickets, go to Tigers.com and help celebrate Jack. Going into the Hall of Fame this year with Alan Trammell. It's popped up. First base side for Hicks in foul ground. 2 quick outs as Altuve is retired. We'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. Single to drive in a run back in the 3rd for Gurriel.
We saw his younger brother just a couple of weeks ago in that final game in Toronto. He got called up for that Sunday afternoon game. So younger brother's what, Yuri?
Yuri Gurriel.
Yeah, Yuri and Yuli Gurriel.
Short. It's going to be a quick inning for Mr. Fiers. How about a 5-pitch inning?
That's real quick.
Let's go to the 6th. In Houston, there he is. We expected to see him here at the ballpark, Mr. Nolan Ryan.
Got a good seat, too.
Front row.
Yes, indeed.
Top of the order coming up for the Tigers. Nolan Ryan, the executive advisor in the front office for the Astros. Goodrum, Hicks, and Castellanos facing the lefty Keuchel, and there's a strike called on Nico.
First time that Keuchel's been able to wrap that breaking ball around the plate on the outside corner and get it called for a strike. He's thrown it a bunch, but that was the first time that it landed in the glove of Stassi's. So first pitch breaking ball, next pitch changeup. Now he'll cut that fastball inside, then go right back outside with another changeup.
Chop to the shortstop. It'll be Gonzalez. And Nico is out by a step.
That's a perfect example of what Keuchel does. Changeup, breaking ball away, and then he comes back with an 88-mile-per-hour cutter. And Nico Goodrum leaning out over the plate, then he got jammed on it. Nothing straight he throws.
Another ground ball out there for Keuchel, although he's gotten a few in the air in this ball game tonight. There's a pitch inside to Hicks.
Yeah, another cutter.
7 on the ground, 5 in the air. Keuchel is known for his ground ball rate and has gotten 2 big double plays in this game.
That changeup, man, he has thrown the bunch today. A lot more than he had been throwing it all season. I would expect that he probably feels like that's a good pitch for a young, aggressive, right-handed batting team.
Fly out, strikeout for Hicks. Drill to left, base hit. Hicks aboard with a 1-out single for Castellanos. Well, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. Here's Nick now. He's singled in the 4th inning. Tigers have their 5th hit of the game, all of them singles. Ball 1. Playing to pull on the infield against Castellanos. Nick came in with 112 hits. He now has 113, good for 5th in the American League. 1-2. Nick right now in the middle of this Tigers lineup, he is the guy that everybody looks at on the opposing team as the one guy that really can do damage and has consistently done it this year. It'll dive in, and Nick would not offer. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's also the guy on most nights when he comes to the plate with runners in scoring position. The managers have instructed their pitching staff, you don't let this guy beat you. You make someone else on their team beat you, especially with the numbers that Nick's posted so far. A lot of hits, over 300, killing lefties, driving in a lot of runs.
Full count, 3-2.
Well, you wonder if he'll allow Hicks to take off with Castellanos in the batter's box, if he has confidence in Nick to put the ball in play.
Runner holding, it's ball 4. Castellanos gets a walk, and once again the Tigers have 2 men on. Tigers host the Red Sox on Saturday, July 21st at 6:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a Ron Gardenhire gnome. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Here is McCann, who knocked into a double play back in the 4th. Keuchel has used 2 of those to sidestep trouble tonight.
And Dallas about to throw his 87th pitch of the evening.
Ball 1. Tigers tonight are 0 for 5 with men in scoring position. Non-drive to left, base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third base. Hicks will stop there, and they're loaded up now for the Tigers. 2 singles and a walk.
And broken bat single there. And change up off the end of the bat for McCann, but he'll take it, no doubt.
It's going to bring Stassi out to the mound. The Tigers have Matuk coming up. Tigers have just posted their 6th hit of the game, all singles. Mikey has put the ball in the air twice in this game, fly ball and a pop-up. Ball 1. So Keuchel now is about to throw his 90th pitch of the night.
Mikey standing way off the plate. I don't ever remember Mikey standing that far away from home plate. But it appears that he is at least a couple of feet off home plate.
Here's the breakdown on Keuchel after 90.
One stressful in the 3rd when he threw 25 pitches.
Off the plate, now 2-1. Tigers just begging for a big hit here. They've not been able to do it with men in scoring position.
They've done a nice job at getting themselves in some nice friendly fastball counts. Now you just can't get greedy. You have to make sure you get a good strike here to hit.
Popped up. First base side for Gurriel. Infield fly rule, and Matuk is out. 2 away.
And Mikey got himself in a 2-1 count, and he got a changeup that was tailing away from him, and it just could not lay off of it.
And bring up Victor Martinez. There is some action in the bullpen now for the Astros. Victor reaching on an error in the 5th inning. He has put the ball on the ground twice in this game. And Martinez looks at a strike, 0-1. Victor fouls it back out of play. No balls and 2 strikes on Martinez. Brad Peacock is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros in case Keuchel needs some assistance here in the 6th. Crowd getting into it now with a 2-strike count on Victor. High and away, 1-2. Tigers really, since that big first game in Tampa in which they lost in 10 innings and had the offense clicking, have not been able to do much on this road trip. They were shut down in games 2 and 3 against the Rays. Looking for a big hit here tonight. Here's the 1-2. High, ball 2. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Martinez with no place to put him. Victor has gone full here, 3-2. Ronnie Rodriguez on deck. Single by Hicks, walk to Castellanos, single by McCann. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Altuve scoops it, tags the bag for the out, and the inning is over. The Tigers leave them loaded here in the 6th. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here in hot, steamy Houston, where the Tigers and Astros are playing game one in this three-game series. Rod, you would look excellent with a mustache like that.
And you look good in that hat, too.
I'll do the hat if you do the mustache. 3-0 is our score. The Astros have the lead here. The Tigers just have not been able to get the big hit tonight.
No, not at all, man.
They have knocked in the 2 double plays. They have left the bases loaded.
They've had some opportunities.
It'll be Josh Reddick here to face Mike Fiers in the 6th inning. And Reddick looks at a strike 1-1.
Tigers didn't score a run in their last game in Tampa until the 9th inning. And they were getting shut out until they scored 2 runs in that top half of the 9th.
Broken bat rolled foul. One and 2 on Reddick, who is 0 for 2 in this game. He'll be followed by Gonzalez and Tucker. 3 runs on 8 Astros hits, no runs on 6 Tigers hits. Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. He painted that time. Reddick says nope. But it doesn't matter. 1 gone.
And nice little breaking ball there. And dropped in nicely by Mike. Nice job with the glove as well by James McCann, holding it there firm. There for Lance Barkdale.
That is the 2nd Fiers strikeout in this game. There's Marwin Gonzalez. Ball 1. Hit the ball hard his last time up, but lined out to right field.
And Mike has retired 9 of the last 10 batters. Tony Sipp, the left-hander in the bullpen for the Houston Astros. Sipp having a good year. Celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday.
One and 2 on Gonzalez, who ended the year last year with 90 RBIs and 23 home runs. He had himself a career year, hit over 300 as well. Got to the big leagues in 2012 with the Astros, but never really put up the numbers that he did until last season.
And he did it while playing just about every position on the field.
Chopped to the right side, foul.
Which is hard to do.
This year, Gonzalez first, second, third, shorts, and left. Slice toward left field. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Matuk hustling it back in. It's going to be a stand-up double for Gonzalez.
And fastball up, and pretty good swing by Gonzalez. Didn't overswing by the time Mikey Monta got over there and got it back in. Stand-up double for Marwin. You would think that regardless of the score here today, that Ron Gardenhire at some point in time is going to have to use Jimenez. He hasn't pitched on the entire trip.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple of instances rather where he might have been able to get into the Tampa series, but he never got in.
Shane Green also fresh off the disabled list, and I was asking Ron Gardenhire today, would Shane Green simply go right back to his closer's role, and he said, yep, he would. He only missed 10 days, and if things lined up that way, it would probably be Jimenez in the 8th and Greeny in the 9th.
Popped up, straight up, middle of the infield, Ronnie Rodriguez.
You can tell that youngster there, Tucker, man, working on his launch angle swing down in the minors. He swings straight up. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Mike Fiers, 92. Top fastball so far tonight, and 72 the low with the breaking ball. Mario told you earlier he'll throw that breaking ball anywhere from 64 miles an hour all the way to 76 miles an hour. Different breaks, different speeds.
Two away now for Max Stassi. Ball one. Base hit back in the second for Stassi's 1 for 2. One ball and one strike. Fiers threw a lot of pitches early in this game. You see the 23 pitch first. He threw 20 in the third, but since then has really gotten the pitch count in good order. High fly ball, center field, chasing Jones back, still going back to the wall to make the catch. That ball carried. They'll waste a double. We go to the 7th. Johnny Kane had an out of this world experience. Oh, we'll explain when we come back.
Tigers were able to bend Dallas Keuchel, the starter for the Houston Astros this evening, but weren't able to break him. They had several opportunities to score some runs, but every time he got backed into a jam, he would simply throw that ground ball, got himself a couple of double plays, also got some soft contact on balls when runners were in scoring position, and now that's 6 innings of work for Keuchel. He's done.
Tony Sipp in the wall side windows pitching change, the lefty coming out of the Stros pen.
And last 22 outings, he's been scoreless in 20 of those for Sipp. ERA sits at 2.11. 21 strikeouts, 8 walks for the left-hander. Used to pitch for the Cleveland Indians back in the day.
It'll be the bottom 3, Rodriguez, Candelario, and Jones. And Ronnie looks at a strike. He's got a couple of hits in this ball game.
Sip does his best work against left-handers. Left-handers are 4 for 37 against Sip, good for a 108 batting average. So he's done nice work against left-handed bats. Tigers don't have any left-handed bats in there, though.
One and two on Rodriguez. Sip last year with an ERA of 5.75.
Yeah, he scuffled last year.
Yeah, he has really straightened it out this year with the ERA a little over 2.
I don't think he made the postseason roster. He was struggling so bad.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Rodriguez would not chase. 2-2 on Ronnie.
That's the funny thing with bullpens, though, Mario. You just don't know from one year to the next. I mean, look at the Cleveland Indians, for instance. I mean, you take Shaw out of that bullpen, and then Miller hurt most of the year, and the entire bullpen in shambles. And that bullpen had been good in the prior 3 years, but this year, not good at all.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't even take an injury. Some guys just don't perform like they had been in the past.
Well, you throw so many innings, especially if you're a postseason team.
Ronnie waves and misses. He's out of there.
And, of course, Cleveland has been a postseason team pretty much since Francona's got there. So the innings start to pile up. And sometimes as a reliever, you just don't know what you're going to get out of that guy the next year after he's had a really good year.
I think that's why the Indians were okay with letting Brian Shaw leave.
Yeah.
And his arm had piled up a ton of innings.
They knew that.
Here is Jamer, a single and a strikeout for Candelario.
Pretty good changeup there by Tony Sip. His changeup almost acts like a screwball. It's got a lot of action on it. Fading away from the right-handed bat. They just live on that outside corner, man. Francisco Liriano, he and Mike Fiers will get their World Series rings tomorrow. I guess in a little ceremony before the 4 o'clock local start time. 3 o'clock local start time, excuse me. $3 o'clock Eastern for Tigers Live.
Keuchel goes the first 6, and now Sip here in the 7th. It's not like the Tigers have been out of this game at all. They're down 3-0. They just have not been able to take advantage when they do get guys on base. Strike called on Candy, and he walks out disgustedly. Tony Sip's career began in Cleveland, as Rod mentioned. That was back in 09. He had spent a season with Arizona and has been with Houston since 2014.
Everything away.
Like that, but it missed.
Away with that changeup, away with the breaking ball, away with the fastball. Most teams that Candelario has gone up against the last month or so, they've been busting him inside with fastballs. You can see the location of the 3 pitches in this at bat. All of them at the bottom of the strike zone, all of them away.
Rolled foul, and the count 1-2. It remains on Candelario.
Tried to sneak that little slider inside on Candy.
The Astros this year have used around only 5 starting pitchers.
I saw that, man. I saw that.
Fewest in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
We just faced a team that used about 1,000 minor starting pitchers.
Right. 14 of them.
Okay,
so far. Yeah.
Got him, strike through. 2 gone here in the 7th. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
Well, boys, I can tell you the struggle is real. You know, we come here to Houston, and the fine folks at NASA invite us to come out to the Johnson Space Center, not only just to get a tour, but they put us through some rigorous, what they call light astronaut training. But I'm here to tell you it was anything but light. They said 0 gravity workouts. There was lots of gravity. And I honestly labored through much of what they put me through. And from what I understand, it was actually a fairly simple test, what I was able to go through with the bench press and the squats and whatnot. I thought it was interesting the fact they say, astronauts need to work out in space because they lose, 2% of their, hang on.
Drive in the air to left field, hit well. That ball is going to go off the wall. All the way to second goes Jones, and Jacoby has a 2-out double.
Well, speaking of moonshots there, nice work by Jacoby. But anyhow, astronauts lose about 2% of their muscle each month they're up in space, so they got to continue to work. And obviously you can work out, at all times of the day. So anyway, I was appreciative that they let us come out there and try it, and I have a ton of respect, for the men and women in our space program. So very cool to be out there to the Johnson Space Center. I don't know if you guys have been there.
No.
But try to get Rod Allen out there to go through the workout program.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Johnny Kane can't get through it, nobody can.
I can do it. You said you were struggling.
Well, I fancy myself in decent shape. I'm not.
Also, there are quite a few parts of my body that do not react well to gravity as I've gotten older. So, no thanks on that invite.
Right on.
All right, Johnny. Thanks, man.
All right.
Well, the Tigers have another scoring chance here, albeit with 2 outs. Here is Nico Goodrum, who is 0 for 3. And Sip misses outside 1-0. Keuchel struck him out twice and then got him to ground out. Nico came in with really good numbers in July. It hit safely in 10 of 11 this month. In there, a strike called 1-1.
You're right. Stassi really can handle that glove. That ball looked like it might have been 2-3 inches off the plate outside, but a real strong wrist. He grabbed that ball and snatched it and kept it right there. And for Lance Barksdale.
Went around. Oberg said he went, now 1-2. Really, unless you attach the numbers to it, it's hard to tell sometimes which guys are very good at that pitch framing and stealing strikes. And Stassi has been among, in fact, the best in the American League.
You can watch his wrist, though. He's got really loose wrist. I mean, he doesn't just hold it out there stiff. Watch his glove. I mean, he's kind of holding it in a way that he can move to the left, he can move to the right to make sure that he's got some mobility with that glove. I mean, it's not real. Y'all see how the glove's moving?
Right back to the mound, and they'll get the out at first base to win the inning. Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch coming up. Johnny Kane's struggling.
Come on, Kane,
Johnny.
give me one
Johnny,
more.
get
Come
that
on.
up, Johnny.
Give me one more.
Give me one more.
You need
Bregman, a 2-run homer in the first inning. Mike Fiers really not all that bad here tonight. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and the Tigers offense really has scuffled all night long. They've had their opportunities, Rob, but they just have not been able to, or were not able to, get to Dallas Keuchel and now Tony Sipp. But Keuchel seemed to have his way with the Tigers offense today.
Well, Keuchel didn't make any mistakes for the most part over the heart of the plate. And every time the Tigers got somebody in scoring position, usually the way in or off the plate with that changeup, and the Tigers just really couldn't get many good swings against him. When you start talking about Fiers, however, he didn't walk one batter in this game. He really competed, but obviously Tigers haven't scored any runs for him.
Well, it's going to be a wall-side windows pitching change. Drew Verhagen coming out of the Tigers bullpen. Drew, of course, suffered the nasal fracture. He is back off the disabled list.
And last time we saw Verhagen, I mean, his first outing after coming back from that nasal fracture, he was money in Tampa. 2 1/3 innings that day, did not give up anything. He's the main reason why the Tigers were in position to win that game that day. Of course, they lost that game in 10 innings to the Tampa Bay Rays. But Drew was outstanding.
Fiers goes 91 pitches, 57 strikes. He was 16 of 23 in first pitch strikes.
He competed for sure.
He did.
I mean, against this offense, 3 runs, it's a good day.
Fiers coming back to Houston. Of course, he pitched here the last couple of years, so he acquitted himself quite well.
He led their staff in innings and starts last year. Would not have thought that, but he did.
Strike called. Verhagen has a strikeout. Tony Kemp is out of there, 1 gone.
And good firm fastball here thrown by Verhagen. He stands 6 feet 5 inches. That fastball at 93 up top.
A couple of former Vanderbilt stars hooking up in that at bat. Kemp and Verhagen. Here is George Springer. Single run scored in 3 at bats tonight for Springer.
George Springer played his high school, college baseball, in a cold weather state. But yet, still #1 draft choice.
Swing and a miss. Well, Mike Trout was from the Northeast as well.
Yeah. Those guys don't get a chance to play outside very often. UConn is that college where George went to. Got to play a lot of baseball in the gym.
Yeah.
Remember when I was
Verhagen going to throw him out here.
Playing some professional baseball, and I was living in Salt Lake City. We used to go down to Brigham Young and use their facilities. And they were nice facilities, but they were always indoors. Just like we promised you, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Bregman in his first at-bat today, 2-2 pitch after Fiers got ahead of him, no balls and 2 strikes. He put them on the board first, and they haven't looked back yet.
Homer number 20 in the year for Bregman. It's funny you mentioned working out indoors, man.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I used to field every ground ball in the gym flawlessly.
Yeah.
Then we get on the field.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. Bad hops, you know.
I couldn't catch one. There's a strike called, and the count now 1-1 on Bregman.
Yeah, so I felt sorry for the guys that grew up in those cold weather states. You can't really get outside and play baseball. They all take those trips to the, Florida and California, though, in spring break, and so they can start playing outdoors. But the kids in California and Texas and in Florida, they've got 3-4 months on the guys in cold weather places.
Here's the 1-2.
That's why when you look at the draft, there's a lot more players drafted from those places: California, Texas, Florida.
The hotbed.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Always playing baseball 24/7.
Verhagen looking for a 1-2-3 7th. Here's the 2-2. Curled one inside, 3-2.
You throw it 2-2, you might as well come back with it 3-2. He's gone all 4 quadrants of the strike zone to Bregman. That's what you got to do these days. He's an all-star.
Pulled to third. Nice glove work there by Candelario. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Peacock and a wall side windows pitching change.
And 38th game now for Peacock. 3.12 ERA. Look at the strikeouts to walks ratio. 55 punch outs. He's only walked 9 batters in the league, hitting .203 against Brad. So he's around the plate.
Jake Marisnik is on now to play center field for the Astros. Kemp out of the ball game. Hicks will lead things off versus Peacock.
Jake is an outstanding defender in center.
Fouled back out of play, 1-1.
John Hicks batting in that number 2 spot today. And Gardenhire told us before the game he was trying to mix and match his lineup the best that he could, trying to put together a winning lineup. Goodrum leading off, Hicks second, put Nick back at third.
Oh, man, Hicks going fishing there. Hook, line, and sinker. One gone here in the 8th.
That's a nasty slider right there by Peacock. I don't know what it is about these Astros, man, but they all have one really good pitch. Peacock has that real good slider. Keuchel's got that real nice sinker and cutter. Verlander fastball. Garrett Cole with a good breaking ball and fastball. That breaking ball right there had a huge break to it. I guess that's why he's got 56 strikeouts and just 9 walks.
Castellanos takes ball 1.
And Nicholas is an outstanding breaking ball hitter. They've really only shifted on a couple of batters today. That would be Nicholas Castellanos and Victor Martinez. I don't know if it's because they've got the most data on those guys or they just choose to shade both of these guys to the pull field on the ground.
Shane Green warming up in the Tigers bullpen.
It's a good way to let Greeny get his feet wet after spending a couple of weeks on the disabled list.
Nick with a single and a walk. He is 1 for 2. Off the outside corner, 2-1.
Yeah, Nick was able to lay off that breaking ball there. Going to have to lay off with it again, because that's one of the things the Astros will do. They will not throw you a fastball. If his best pitch is a breaking ball, he'll throw you another breaking ball before he gives you that fastball.
Heater outside. He's gone to 3-1. McCann on deck. Peacock has been used as a starter and reliever exclusively out of the bullpen this year, though. 37 relief appearances. No room in that starting rotation. Up top, ball 4. Tigers have a 1-out base runner. Nick on for the 3rd time tonight. Tomorrow we have some afternoon baseball for you. Join us for all of your game coverage beginning at 3 with Tigers Live. Tomorrow, Tigers Astros at 3 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. McCann a single and 3 at bats. He's also hit into a double play. Oh, 1-1 on James. He'll spin one outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you talk about fighting long odds. Peacock, a 41st round selection of the Nationals, getting to the major league level. Now he's gone 2-1 on McCann. You've got to fight and bite and claw your way to the big leagues from there.
You've got to have a lot of success, because you've got a lot of guys that were drafted before you, and each one of them is going to get more of an opportunity than you were going to get.
2-2 on McCann.
Don't know what James was looking for there. 2-1. Maybe he thought the fastball was up. Maybe he thought it was in. But that's that predictable fastball count. Got a pretty good breaking ball to hit there. Fouled it straight back. And that was an 83-mile-per-hour breaking ball by Peacock. It got a lot of plate.
Mac, pretty good success versus Houston in his career. 12 RBIs in 13 games. A time call as he steps out. Tigers had 2 on, nobody out in the 3rd, couldn't score. They had the bases loaded in the 6th and couldn't score. And he got him. Strike 3. McCann caught looking at a ball right at the knees. A fastball. Two gone. That'll bring up Mikey Matuk.
And James McCann took 2 fastballs for strikes in that at-bat. The strike 2 pitch was a fastball, and the strike 3 pitch was a fastball.
Mikey has 2 pop-ups and a fly ball. He popped up with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 6th. That was the Tigers' best scoring chance. They had him loaded with only 1 out, but failed to get a run in. Swing and a miss. Man, Matuk could not hold up. Breaking ball 0-2.
And Peacock's got a really good breaking ball. It's got a big break to it. More east to west in the strike zone. Doesn't have a lot of depth to it, but a huge break. And he's also got 94 with his fastball. He's a short armer as well, so he short arms that ball up there.
Ground ball, third base side. Scooped up by Bregman. They'll get the force. Inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Jose Altuve will lead it off for the Stros.
The kind of guy to go into the manager's office and tell him I'm hurt very often. But after his last outing in Toronto, again, about 2 weeks ago, he said something didn't feel right. He knew he had to get right. So he went in there. Initially, he feared that it might have been the same injury which caused him to get surgery back in 2016, that being an aneurysm that developed in his throwing shoulder. Fortunately, the MRI came back structurally sound, and so it was just a 10-day DL stint for Shane Green. Went through the program, told me he's excited to get back out there competing with his guys.
Yeah, Johnny, you'll have an opportunity now. It's a wall-side windows pitching change, and Green will come on to face Altuve to get things started here in the 8th.
And 4.03 ERA for Green. Tigers closer in getting some work because he's been on the disabled list. 42 strikeouts. He's walked 11. He's got that fastball that will get up to 95. On occasion, 96. He'll also cut the fastball, and he's got a nice little breaking ball, too. Altuve will be swinging if he gets the first pitch strike. He don't stay around very long.
No, he don't.
He'd be up there hacking, man.
It's amazing how guys that aggressive. I mean, usually when you have guys that are really good hitters, they're very patient. They work the count.
Right.
This guy's up there swinging.
And you, as an opposing pitcher, you know if you get it too close to the plate, he's going to be swinging. And you try not to throw him good strikes to hit on the very first pitch. But he still has good results.
Green pumps one in there, a fastball 0-2. Verhagen a 1-2-3 7th, and now Shane Green here in the 8th.
And Verhagen has looked outstanding in the limited work he has gotten since coming back off the disabled list. Here's where you might as well go ahead and try to put Altuve away once you've gotten ahead of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next thing you know, you throw a breaking ball, you miss with that. Now it's 2-2, and you start to work the count back in his favor. Go ahead and attack him.
That is going to be a fair ball. Sprawling play by Hicks, who can't find the handle, though. It'll be a single for Altuve.
And nice job here by John Hicks. Ball cued off the bat. of Altuve, and once John Hicks gets over there, he looks up to see where Altuve is, about right here where he goes to pick the ball up. He looks where Altuve is, and then he does not pick the ball up cleanly. And one more look at it.
Well, when you have 200 hits a year, you're going to have a few of those along the way. And Altuve is aboard.
Shane Green was a little late getting off the mound as well, so I don't even know if he'd have had a play had he fielded it cleanly.
Foul ball down the right field line. That looked like trouble.
And Gurriel likes to use the entire field. He will drive the ball the other way. That's why he's such a good RBI man. You know, we were talking about some of the Tigers' struggles in RBI situations. When you were talking about a guy like Gurriel, who spent 15 years playing in Cuba and was one of the best players in Cuban history. So when he got to the big leagues at age 30, he already had a slow heartbeat. He already played a lot of really good baseball.
He knew how to do it. Fights that one off into right field, a base hit. Altuve rounds the bag. He'll go to third. It's misplayed and right by Castellanos. But Altuve will hold at third base.
How about these two base hits in this inning? And be honest with you, they really have not killed the ball all night tonight.
Nope.
The Bregman home run was hit hard, but other than that, not many balls hit hard today. I don't know how in the world Gurriel fights this ball off and finds a hole the other way. When things are going good, things are going good.
Here's Josh Reddick.
And Tigers might have to think about getting somebody up in their bullpen. They're not going to leave Green out there too long if he struggles in this inning. They already got some movement down there. He's fresh off the disabled list.
Strike one on Josh Reddick. There is the action in their bullpen. They've got Davinsky and Rondon warming up.
Yeah, Davinsky's got the great changeup. Rondon's got the big arm. And I mean, Davinsky's got a really good changeup.
Popped up a bunt. Hicks is going to take it, and one away.
We're starting to see more and more teams, runners on first and third, bunting the baseball.
Hey, the Home Run Derby mobile game is back with more competition, more challenge, and more dingers than ever before. Enter the code ALLSTARDC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game.
Tampa Bay Rays did that a couple of times in that series that we just completed, runner on first and third. It's a good play. And you pretty much stay out of the double play. And you're almost guaranteed to get at least one run if you do get it down.
Here is Marwin Gonzalez. Ball one. 11 hits in this game for the Astros, 7 for the Tigers.
Just about all of them singles too, right? Except for the double and the homer.
Me for the Astros?
Yep. Gonzalez double.
Double and a homer. Everything else is single. Jones has a double for the Tigers. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Gonzalez.
A dangerous count here if you decide to throw Marwin Gonzalez a fastball. He's a really good fastball hitter. .291 career hitter against Tigers pitching. Chokes up on that bat ever so slightly.
3-0. Singles by Altuve and Gurriel.
I don't know if Gonzalez has the green light here, 3-0. We don't see Houston enough to know. Yeah, but if you're Green and McCann, you have to treat it as such. You have to make a quality pitch.
Swinging line drive, caught at second by Nico.
Yeah, he was swinging.
Headed to right field, he hit a bullet that Goodrum snags for the second out.
And Nico had him played perfectly. It's the second time today Tigers defender's been right in the right spot. Ronnie Rodriguez on the other side of the diamond caught a sharply hit ball.
It'll bring up Kyle Tucker now with 2 outs. And McCann out to the mound.
They must be talking about a possible double steal or something. I can't even imagine what else they would be thinking about, and that's just to protect themselves in case Gurriel takes off from first base if Altuve tries to steal home. And James McCann wanted everybody to know what he was going to do with the baseball. Whether throw through, which I doubt they'll do, he'll probably just hold it if Gurriel takes off for second. That would be the wisest thing to do. This young man doesn't wear no batting gloves either.
0-1 on Tucker.
Mr. Tucker. Didn't you say the Astros had 2 picks in the first 5 rounds in that 2015 draft?
They did. Bregman
and Tucker.
Bregman, a college kid. Tucker, a high school kid. Swing and a miss. Now it's 0-2. Runners in scoring position. Neither team really killing it tonight. Greeny trying to pitch around 2 seeing-eyed singles for the Astros. Runner breaks to second and a strike called. Got him looking. That'll end the inning. Green able to pitch out of the jam. We go to the 9th. All right, guys, thanks. And here we go to the 9th inning, and it's going to be Hector Rondon coming in to try and close this one down. He has 7 saves for the Astros, and he will face Victor Martinez for the Tigers here in the 9th.
He's got a great arm. And that last fastball, 96. ERA 1.62.
Victor is 0 for 3, reaching on an error in the 5th. He hit into a force with the bases loaded in his last at bat. Rolls one slowly toward first base. Easy hop there, Gurriel, and one gone. Here the wall side windows match up the rest of the weekend here between these two squads. And tomorrow it's going to be a real good one with Fulmer and Cole.
Yeah, a couple of guys with some high octane fastballs tomorrow. Fulmer, Garrett.
Liriano and Verlander in the finale on Sunday. Verlander an ERA of 2, a little over 2. Fulmer looking to pitch well going into the break.
And there are some people that believe that Verlander is the first half winner of the Cy Young. That's how well he's pitched.
2 up, 2 down. Rodriguez bounces out.
Ball hit hard by Ronnie. Ronnie's had some good at-bats today. He's had some of the better at-bats today of all the Tigers.
It'll be up to Jeimer Candelario. They'll play Jeimer to pull. Swing and a miss. 97 from Rondon.
Yeah, pretty aggressive swing there by Candelario.
Rondon was the Cubs closer for a few years, saved as many as 30. That was back in 2015. Candy skies one toward left. It is slicing, headed toward the seats, and out of play. 1-2. Crowd to its feet now, 38,000 plus. Time call now as Rondon is ready to deliver. Had a ball come loose out in short left field, late time given. Jeimer a single and 2 strikeouts in this game. Foul back.
And Rondon coming right after the Tigers with that good fastball. Touched 97 a couple of times.
Two and 2. Jones on deck. Fouled away, and Candelario not going down without a battle. Rondon came in with 44 strikeouts in 33 in the 3rd inning. Low ball 3. Need base runners. Tigers down 3. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. Grounded foul. swing and a foul. Just got a piece. Rondon got a couple of quick outs. The Martinez ground out, the Rodriguez ground out. And he walked in, ball 4. Great at bat for Chamber to keep hopes alive for the Tigers. Boo, says the crowd. 10th pitch at bat. Here is Jacoby Jones. Ball 1-2, Jacoby, who doubled in the 7th. 1 for 3 tonight. Astros got 2 in the first. They added 1 in the 3rd, and that's been it for the scoring. There's ball 2.
And Rondon can't find the strike zone. And Jacoby's going to get a really good fastball to hit here. It's going to be about 95 miles an hour, and it's going to be right down the middle.
High fly ball right field. Back to the track in front of the wall and nestles in the glove of Reddick, and that's the ball game. Houston wins game 1 in the series. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York with Tigers Live postgame.